हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, धन्यवाद प्रणाम। जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद।
धन्यवाद प्रणाम नंदिनी सुंदरी माता जी, धन्यवाद प्रणाम। जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद। Please send the reminder. We'll start in
Yes, Prabhu ji. Yes, I will send another reminder right now. It was already sent in the morning, but I will do one more so we are starting.
Okay, thank you.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
माता जी धन्यवाद प्रणाम। राधा भावनी माता जी, जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद। We can begin now.
Yes.
ओमज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनं सहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Bande Shri Gurun Dintarinam Paramanandamatam Chaitanya Ishwaram Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo. So today we are reading from the 4th chapter of the 3rd canto. Is my voice okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
So we are discussing from 4th chapter of 3rd canto. This is the last interaction between Uddhav and Vidura. The first chapter describes the travels of Vidura, and then finally Vidura met Uddhava. The second chapter describes Uddhava's ecstasies when he was inquired about Krishna. And then Uddhava described about various pastimes of Krishna and Vrindavan. And last week we saw the third chapter describes the various pastimes of Krishna after Krishna left Vrindavan in Dwarka. And um, now is this chapter is the ending part. And it will lead to basically the summary of this chapter is the last meeting of Lord Krishna with Uddhava, or Uddhava's history, little bit just before he met Vidurji, and also Uddhava directing Vidura to hear Bhagavatam from Maitreya Muni. And then Vidura left, and then Vidura met Maitreya Muni in Haridwar on the bank of Ganges, Ganga. So this is the very short flow of the chapter. So this chapter begins with the disappearance, because the Dwarka Leela is over in the last chapter. Now Uddhava is continued to describing the disappearance of Yadus. And last time we saw where the last chapter ended was there are two kinds of Yadus. One section of Yadus are the eternal associate of Lord Shri Krishna in Dwarka. And another set of Yadus are the demigods who are requested by Narayan to take birth among the Yadus to help in Krishna's pastimes, or to help Krishna to remove the burden from Mother Earth. So some of the Yadus were Devatas. And then last week we saw the descendants of Yadus, basically grandchildren. When they were playing, at one point of time, the sages came, including Narada, Angira Rishi, and many other great sages they visited. And they joked with the sages. They dressed samba like a pregnant woman. And they joked with the sages, asking who will be born. And we saw that Krishna was very deeply considering how to annihilate the Yadavas, because they were very powerful and nobody could defeat Yadavas. So Krishna orchestrated this plan that the Yadus fight among themselves and kill each other. So it happened by Krishna used these boys as instruments and the sages as instruments. So the sages cursed the children that neither a boy nor a girl, but an iron mace will be born, who will become the death of your entire dynasty, or basically Yadu dynasty. So Krishna could easily counteract the curse, but this was actually according to Krishna's plan. So those Yadus who were the demigod part or the demigod section of the Yadus, they went to Prabhas Kshetra, and only those Yadus were killed by fighting among each other. So now Lord Krishna, he brought, along with Balaram, he brought all the Yadus to Prabhas Kshetra. And in Prabhas Kshetra, they perform sacrifice to become free from. I mean, Krishna is very, like Krishna said, yeah, I think one way we can try to counteract. He didn't say that we will be able to counteract. Krishna says how Krishna convinced the Yadavas to go to Prabhas Kshetra. Krishna said, let's go to Prabhas, let's perform a yagya there, sacrifice. Let's invite all the Brahmanas, let's serve the Brahmanas. And that way we may be able to counteract the curse of the sages. But actually, Krishna wanted the sages' words to go true. So he took only those section of it, of Yadus. So Yadus, they perform sacrifice. They offered very opulent prasadam to the Brahmanas. And then they partake the very heavy prasadam, delicacies, and they also drank liquor. So after the sacrifice is complete, then Yadus, they became intoxicated. Um, there, the liquor was not like the liquor today, but the liquor there was like honey or old fruit juices, those kind of things. Um, so they drank those, and their mind were bewildered, delirious. They could not think anything, and then they started pointing fingers at each other and started using harsh words. Their mind became unbalanced, don't know what they are doing. Um, you did this, you did this, and he said, no, it's not me, and he's like, how can you both say? And he says, no, he's the one, and they started fighting. And whatever they had in their mind, um, I mean, they were not pure devotees, they were demigods. So they had uh, some unbalanced state is already there in the Yadu's mind also. So whatever was in their mind, they started speaking and created a quarrel. The example given is the for a forest fire, nobody has to ignite a fire, but the bamboos they rub against each other, and by the friction, the fire is created. Likewise, the Yadus they just rub amongst each other, started speaking harsh words amongst each other, and through that there was a quarrel, which is like the fire. And um, those bamboos, they started taking those bamboos and they started hitting each other. And actually, bamboos are like um, um, they're like wooden. They're not so dangerous also. But by the will of the Lord, when they were um, hitting the bamboos turned into iron maces, as sharp and as hard as iron. So usually when you hit somebody or poke a bamboo, it just hurts. It does not pierce and breaks their body into two. But because it was the will of the Lord, those bamboos, when they hit, became like a spear, like an arrow, hard, and 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 just broke open their bodies. Um, and they all killed each other. It is said that the stronger Yadus, they killed the weaker Yadus. And later on, when there were some very few prominent Yadus were remaining, So Lord Krishna and Balaram also took those bamboos and they jumped into the fight. And whoever stronger Yadus were remaining, Krishna and Balaram killed them also. And they were very much surprised. But they could not think anything because of the intoxication, bewilderment. So then Lord Krishna, then Balaramji disappeared. After Balaramji, um, Mahabharat mentions that Balaramji was also sitting, and from his mouth came Anantashesh. And then Balaramji entered into Anantashesh, and Balaramji disappeared. Then Lord Krishna witnessed everything, and Lord Krishna could understand everything as the act of his illusory energy. And the word used is Swatma Mayaya. Swa Atma Ma. Atma means oneself, and Swa also. Like Krishna's own Maya potency orchestrated all these things, this bewilderment and this bamboo turning into and the bamboo turning into iron maces, the curse by the sages or the curse by Gandhari. Everything was Krishna's own illusory. Everybody acted as per Krishna's plan. So Krishna was smiling and Krishna witnessed that everything is over. Then Krishna sat down under a tree. mm, Krishna sat down under a tree um, on the bank of river Saraswati in Prabhas Ch4. And then Uddhava speaks something about himself. So this is the last um, pastime of disappearance of Yadus. Then now we go a little bit before the pastime. Uddhava rewinds the story, and Uddhava describes about when um, when Uddhava was with Krishna, and Krishna was about to go to Prabhas Kshetra with all the um, demigod incarnations of Yadus. Before that happened, there was a meeting between Krishna and Uddhava. That's when Uddhav Gita was also spoken. So that time Krishna told Uddhava that you go to Badrikashram because Uddhava is eternal associate of the Lord. Um, and Lord doesn't want Uddhava to go to Prabhas Kshetra. So he told him to go to Badrikashram. And there Lord Krishna is described as he removes the distress of those who surrender unto him. And these are the two examples. Uddhava knew that once I go away from Krishna's association, because of separation from Krishna, Uddhava will go through, uh, Uddhava will not be able to, will go through immense pain. So Krishna spoke Uddhav Gita. By that knowledge, by remembering those words, Uddhava will be able to tolerate the absence of Krishna. We see the similar thing also when Arjuna heard, when Yudhishthira Maharaj asked Arjuna to go to Dwarka. This happens after this Leela, to go to Dwarka um, and bring the news about Krishna and what is Krishna's next plan so we can serve Krishna. And Arjuna returned and Arjuna was depressed because Arjuna came to know that Krishna has departed from this world. He was crying and lot of symptoms of suffering Arjuna was exhibiting. And then Arjuna remembered the words that Lord Krishna spoke to him in Bhagavad Gita, that always remember me, become my devotee, and in this way you will come to me. I am never separated from my devotees, and neither my devotees are ever separated from me. And when these words were reverberating in the mind of Arjuna, and Arjuna felt Krishna through his words. Um, so Krishna knew that when Uddhava will leave his association, that Uddhava will go through a lot of distress. In order to mitigate Uddhava's distress, Arjuna spoke Uddhav Gita to Uddhav. Krishna spoke Uddhav Gita to Uddhava. And also, um, Lord Krishna was aware of the distress of uh, the followers of Narayan Rishi, the distress of Narayan Rishi and the followers of Narayan Rishi in Badrikashram. So Krishna wanted to pacify them also. So this is another reason Krishna is called the vanquisher of distress of the surrendered souls. Because followers of Narayan Rishi are surrendered to the Lord. So Uddhava spoke Gita to Uddhava to the followers of Narayan Rishi. So here Prabhupada emphasizes anybody who surrenders to Krishna, whatever distress one may be going through, anybody who genuinely surrenders to Krishna, they will easily come out of their distress. Then Uddhava says that although I knew, Uddhava says, although I knew that Krishna wants me to go to Badrikashram, I started for Badrikashram. I traveled some way, but then I was feeling this immense separation from the lotus feet of Krishna, and I could not leave Krishna. Then after going up for a while on the way to Badrikashram, I started going back again to see if I can meet Krishna in Prabhas Kshetra. So now coming back to where we were, Krishna witnessed and Krishna participated and he witnessed the disappearance of all the Yadus and Balramji also. And Krishna was uh, sitting on the bank of river Saraswati. It is said that Krishna was deeply thinking. Krishna was all alone. And this is like evening, night time. Krishna is sitting under a banyan tree uh, on the bank of river Saraswati. And all dead bodies are there of the Yadus. And Krishna was thinking, all right, what next? Then Uddhava reached there. Um, before, first Krishna was sitting alone. Then there is a description of Krishna. It is like um, glowing dark complexion, bluish blackish with a glow. And we know that Krishna was hit by the arrow and Krishna was smiling and Krishna was full of bliss and knowledge. Krishna's eyes were very peaceful and reddish. And Krishna was exhibiting his four hands. You may see some picture of Krishna on the bank of river Saraswati with Chatur, it is said, Chaturbhir. Um, he was showing his Narayan feature with his four hands. Krishna exhibited his four hands when he appeared, and Krishna exhibited his four hand when he disappeared also. And Krishna was naturally wearing yellow silk garments. Uh, he was taking shelter of river Saraswati, but it is said that Uddhava says that actually one of the name of Krishna is Shri Niketan. Shri Niketan. Shri means Lakshmi, and Shri Niketan means Krishna is the shelter of Mother Lakshmi. So who is the shelter of Mother Lakshmi is himself apparently seemed to take shelter of river Saraswati, resting against a young banyan tree. His left feet, left lotus foot was his right lotus foot, what was on his left thigh. So this is like his left and his right feet are sitting like this. So he is um, sitting, resting against a banyan tree. He was about to give up his earthly pastimes, um, end his earthly pastimes, and he was blissful, and he was all alone. And that time, Maitreya Muni, it is described Maitreya Muni was also a devotee, but he was not a pure devotee. And Maitreya Muni is described as he was a friend of Vyasadeva. And obviously he's a rishi, a friend of Vyasadeva. So he know Krishna is God. He's a devotee also, but he may, I mean, he's close to become a pure devotee, but he was not fully pure. But he had done unknown devotional service many times, Agyata Sukriti, accidental devotional service, and friend of Vyasa may have served Vyasadeva also. So by the Lord's arrangement so far, when Krishna was about to end his earthly pastime, Maitreya Muni happened to come there, and he saw Krishna was sitting against a banyan tree, blissful, with his left lotus foot on the right lotus foot on the left thigh. Maitreya was very much attracted to Lord Krishna, became very much attached to him, and sat on at the feet of Lord Krishna and requested Lord Krishna and submissively requested Lord Krishna to speak about the absolute truth and Krishna directly. And when Krishna was speaking to Maitreya, that time Uddhava entered the scene. Uddhava was going, feeling separation, could not continue, wanted to follow the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, came back to Prabhas Kshetra, noticed all the Yadus left their bodies by Krishna's arrangement, was looking, and then came in the presence of Lord Krishna. So when Uddhava came, Krishna had a big smile on his face. Krishna became so happy. It is said that, I mean, Krishna is speaking to Maitreya, and when Uddhava entered, Krishna was not so like comfortable or so happy when he was speaking to Maitreya, because Maitreya was not like an intimate associate of Lord Krishna. Although they are, everyone is part and parcel, but Lord relationship is very deeply established again with his pure devotees. So he was speaking, Maitreya also, it's more like there is awe and reverence, and Krishna was speaking. But when Uddhava came, the whole environment changed. And um, Krishna had a big smile, and Krishna gave a loving glance upon Uddhava. Um, and then Krishna called Uddhava, and Krishna made Uddhava to sit. And now Uddhava and Maitreya Rishi, they both are sitting at the feet of Krishna. And then Krishna spoke. Krishna spoke to Uddhava. Krishna spoke, "Oh Uddhava, I know your heart's desire. I know that you are longing for my association." Krishna spoke to Uddhava in front of Maitreya. I know you are so much longing and so eager, and that's why you could not continue your way to Badrikasham, and um, you have come here to see me again. And Krishna says, because you have come here to see me, I am very pleased, and I will award you the rare benediction, which is very difficult for anyone to achieve. I will give you the benediction. And what is the benediction? Krishna says to Uddhava, I will give it to you. Krishna says to Uddhava, your present life will be the last life. O Uddhava, after this life, you will go back to Vaikuntha. Your visit to me, Krishna says, in this lonely place, when I'm about to disappear from this world, is because of your pure devotion and is a great boon for you. So Krishna says, because you have come here in this lonely place alone with me, you have opened, it's a great benediction for you. And because you have come, I'll give you the rarest benediction, which is very difficult to achieve. And this will be your last life. And after this life, you will go to Vaikuntha. Then Krishna said, in the beginning of creation, O Uddhava, I spoke Shrimad Bhagavatam to Lord Brahma. Krishna has already spoken Bhagavad Gita to Uddhava. And now Krishna is telling, in the very beginning of creation, I spoke Shrimad Bhagavatam to Brahma. We hear Vyasadeva also mentioned in the first verse of Shrimad Bhagavatam, Tene Brahma Hridayadiga Vimuyati Sudaya. that the Lord spoke the science of Bhagavatam to Brahma. Then Brahma gave it to Narada, Narada gave it to Vyasa, and this way it was coming down. Vyasa has also shared Bhagavatam with Maitreya, but this is the time when both Maitreya Muni and Uddhava will directly hear Shrimad Bhagavatam from the lotus mouth of Krishna. So Krishna tells Uddhava, I spoke this Bhagavatam to Brahma, and now I am going to speak this Bhagavatam to you. And that's actually what Maitreya Muni was asking. Also, we hear the glory in the glories of Bhagavatam. We hear anybody who properly, sincerely reads Bhagavatam even once, um, they don't take birth again in this world. They become liberated just by hearing Bhagavatam once. So I've heard in a lecture that we all should make a goal that we should at least read the entire Bhagavatam once in our life. It takes maybe like 5 to 7 years, but we should make that goal and work in that direction to finish Bhagavatam once, and then twice, and then thrice, and this is Bhagavatam. So Uddhava, when Uddhava heard from Krishna's affection, with love, with a smile, that I'm gonna speak Bhagavatam to you. Uddhava was overwhelmed. It is described, tears fell from his eyes. His hairs were erupted. Uddhava was overwhelmed by loving reciprocation from Krishna, and with folded hands, with um, tear-filled eyes, Uddhava spoke. Uddhava, and this is very, very nice. Uddhava said, my lord, I prefer your service than any other benediction. Then all the Purusharthas. What are the 4 Purusharthas? Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. One of them is Moksha. Krishna says, I will give you the greatest benediction. Your coming here will not go in vain. I will give you the greatest benediction. And the benediction I will give you is I will send you to Vaikuntha. And actually, very interesting is this is Krishna knows Uddhava doesn't want anything other than serving Krishna. Uddhava doesn't even want liberation, doesn't even want Vaikuntha. We see that the pure devotees don't even aspire for Vaikuntha. One pastime of pure devotee doesn't desire for Vaikuntha, but service to Krishna is Kolabecha Sridhar. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called him during Mahaprakash Leela, Mahaprabhu asked Kolabecha Sridhar, Kolabecha, ask me for a benediction. Kolabecha Sridhar said, my lord, I want nothing. Then Mahaprabhu says, no, you have come and you have taken my audience. I'm giving blessings and benediction to everyone. So you should also ask. I want to give something to you also. Kolabecha Sridhar said, my lord, please, I want nothing from you. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, no, this meeting of me with you will not go in vain. I will give you whatever benediction you want. Ask me for anything. Kolabecha Sridhar said, my lord, it's not in vain. My meeting you itself is the perfection. I don't want anything. Then the Lord gave many things. I will make you Indra. I will make you king of the earth. I'll make you Indra. I'll make you Brahma. I will make you attain Brahman realization. Then he said, I will give you Vaikuntha. I'll give you Goloka. And everywhere, and Golavecha Sridhar said, my lord, what will I do with those? What will I do with those? What will I do with Goloka? What are you saying, Golavecha? I'll give you Golok, Vrindavan. Then, Golavecha Sridhar said, my lord, what will I do there? Um, what I do there is what I want. And what I want is I want to serve you. So I want you to keep coming and stealing my bananas and let me have this conversation. And then after hours of discussion, you take everything for free and that smile on your face while arguing with me and putting me down and taking everything by force, by free. That act of your and that service that I may render to you in that mood, that's all I want, birth after. And another example we see is Satyavrat Muni. Satyavrat Muni also says, I don't want any benediction. Millions and millions of benediction are of no use to me. If I can see your lotus face um, in fear of the stick of Mother Yashoda, because you fed the butter to the monkeys. and running. And when Mother Yashoda caught you, you were shivering, and tears were coming from your eyes. This vision is all that I need. I don't want anything else. So, Krishna didn't even bring this externals in front of Uddhava when Krishna spoke Uddhav Gita. But because Maitreya was sitting and Krishna wanted to teach Maitreya Muni how greatest is the pure devotion. And we see um, Lord Narayan also spoke to Indra in Bhagavatam. This is after that Dadichi Muni pastime and Vratrasura attack. Then there is a conversation with Indra and Narayan. And Narayan tell Indra, my devotee does not want my planet also in preference to service to me. Um, that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected the four Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu established Prema Pumarto Mahan. Love is the supreme. And Prabhupada described Prema as devotional service, loving devotional service. That is the supreme. A devotee only wants to render loving devotional service. So here Lord Krishna is telling Uddhava, I'll give you Vaikuntha. This is the greatest boon, very rarely achieved. Then Uddhava says, my Lord, Uddhava knows Krishna is leaving. He said, I prefer to stay with you and serve you. Uddhava have been staying with Krishna for his life. Since Krishna was 12, Krishna is constantly with Uddhava. And Uddhava is constantly serving Krishna. Whatever Krishna says, Uddhava does. He wears the garland of the previous day offered to Krishna, wear the clothes of the previous day that Krishna wore, and slippers, everything he uses Krishna's remnants only. And he just likes to serve Krishna. So he says, I don't want to go to Vaikuntha. If there is a possibility, then you stay here for eternity and I'm gonna serve you. I prefer I prefer service over the four Purusharthas. That my own I'm anxious only to serve your lotus feet. And then Uddhava says, conclusion, he says, anybody who is engaged in your loving service will have no difficulty in achieving Vaikuntha anyways. Anybody who is rendering service to Krishna will attain Krishna's planet anyways. Krishna also says, if you worship me, you will come to me. Um, if you worship Devatas, you will go to Devatas. So they will attain that anyways. But that's not what a devotee desires. The devotee only desires, my Lord, I want to serve you. Then Uddhava continues speaking. Uddhava says, my Lord, just like Kunti Marana, she tells uh, in her prayer to Krishna, she says, I am very much bewildered by your pastimes. Fear personified, Yama, death, is afraid of you, and you are being afraid of Mother Yashoda's small stick. I cannot fathom these pastimes. So likewise, Uddhava also says or points out some contradictions. Uddhava says to Krishna, my Lord, you are unborn, yet you take birth. You are eternal, yet you have a disappearance pastimes. Um, you um, you are the controller of time, and again, similar to fear personified is afraid of you, yet you flee in fear of enemy and take shelter of a fort. This is when Kalivana attacked and Krishna ran because Krishna wanted Maharaj Chukunda. We discussed this past time, I think couple of weeks back. Krishna wanted Maharaj Muchukunda to kill Kalivana. So you ran in fear from your enemy, and also Krishna, apparently, when Jarasandha attacked, Krishna ran away. And Krishna is running, and Krishna went to the mountain, and Jarasandha asked his servants to burn the whole mountain. Then Krishna jumped from there and started running further. So Uddhava says, my lord, you are controller of time and Yama is afraid of you, death is afraid of you. And you are running from this Kalivana and Jarasandha and taking shelter of a fort, and you are doing these pastimes of your are inconceivable to me. And then you are acting like a household with them, and Apparently you are enjoying with many women, although you are Atma Rama, although you enjoy, you are always self-satisfied. You enjoy within yourself, but you seem to live like a common householder, enjoying with many women. Um, and you engage in fruitive work, although you are free from all desires. Why do people work usually? People work because they have some desires. These people are fighting because they're attached to their kingdom. They want to expand their kingdom, or they want to be the king. So these are all fruitive work, karma. You engage, and Krishna is engaging in fruitive work. He's fighting on behalf of Pandavas, um, and all the enemies against him, and he is also attacking them. So you engage in fruitive work, although you are free from all desires. Krishna doesn't want anything. Obviously, we know that Krishna came to relieve Mother Earth of the burden. Krishna came just to serve Mother Earth, and just to serve all living entities, so they're attracted to him. But apparently, he's engaging in fruitive activities, karma. So uh, these these pastimes are very much bewildering to Uddhava. He is telling to, and also this conversation between Uddhava and Krishna is very intimate. And it is said that because of this interaction between Krishna and Uddhava, Maitra Muni became perfectly purified, and the essence of bhakti was established within the heart of Maitra Muni. We also see the pastime of Ajamila. Um, he chanted the name of Narayan, and Yamdutas came to take him for suffering, and Vishnu Dutas also came, and then there was a interaction between Vishnu Duta and Yamadutas. And hearing the words of Vishnu Dutas, which is Dharma personified, the heart of Ajamil changed by the association of Vishnu Dutas. And likewise, Maitra Muni, although a mixed devotee, although a rishi, but a mixed devotee, by seeing the interaction with Krishna and Uddhava, became completely purified. Uddhava, Krishna wants to give him Vaikuntha, he only wants to serve. And whatever misconceptions about Krishna is maybe there, Uddhava is telling, my Lord, all these are, I'm very much bewildered. Who you are and your activities. I'm bewildered by these contradictions in you. Then Krishna says, even the intelligent and the learned sages will become disturbed by your activities. And that is true. Today, so many people they speak ill of Krishna, and so many so-called spiritualists also say, how can you consider Krishna as one of the God? So they have many misconceptions. So Uddhava says these contradiction in you, even the intelligent and the learned sages will become disturbed. So Maitreya is actually getting benefited from this conversation. And then Uddhava says, my Lord, you call me for consultation as if you are bewildered. This act of your calling me for consultation is bewildering to me. So sometime Krishna, because Uddhava was minister, na, sometime Krishna would call Uddhava and Krishna would ask Uddhava, Uddhava, what do you think? What should I do in this situation? Uddhava will say, my Lord, maybe how about doing this? So Uddhava he is telling here, my Lord, I am very much bewildered that you become bewildered and then you ask me for consultation. You becoming bewildered and asking me for consultation, that then but Uddhava is very eager to hear more from Krishna. Uddhava is always eager to hear from Krishna. That's why we see Uddhava was so inquisitive that he asked so many questions. And based on that, Uddhav Gita was spoken. Just like Arjuna was so eager to hear from Krishna, and he's asking, oh Keshava, what about this? Oh Dhananjaya, what about this? Oh Rishikesh, what about this? So in this, Arjuna asked so many questions. And likewise, Uddhava also asked so many questions. So he really wanted to hear more from Krishna. So he says, Krishna, rest aside. You spoke Bhagavatam to Brahma. Can you please speak everything that you explained to Brahmaji, that you yourself has spoken? By hearing Bhagavatam, Uddhava says, Uddhava does not say, I'll be able to cross over the cycle of birth and death. That's not important for Uddhava. Uddhava says, by hearing Bhagavatam, I will be able to cross over the ocean of sorrow that I will go through after your disappearance. This is wonderful. Uddhava says, why I want to hear Bhagavatam? Because after you disappear, my Lord, but I will go through intense sorrow. Um, um, I won't be able to live without your association. Please speak Bhagavatam that can keep me alive. By remembering that, I can stay and do my service to you. And then this is then Uddhav. This is all Uddhav is describing to Vidura. Um, how the Yadus disappeared, then Krishna coming and sitting on the bank of Saraswati, taking rest against a young banyan tree, um, with his right lotus feet on the left thigh, and then entrance of Maitreya, and then speaking about um, transcendental knowledge, entrance of Uddhava, intimate conversation between Uddhava and Krishna. And then this here, Uddhava does not mention to Vidura about what Krishna spoke about Bhagavad. So he says, then I asked, and Krishna spoke transcendental knowledge. Then Uddhava says, when I expressed to Krishna about my heartfelt desires to hear Bhagavatam from Krishna, then uh, Pundarikaksha, then the lotus-eyed Lord instructed me about the subject matter that he spoke to Brahmaji. And after that, naturally Lord Krishna, first the Devatas came, they um, they prayed, offered various prayers to Lord Krishna. Then Lord Krishna sat on the chariot and he made his disappearance. And aggrieved after Sri Krishna's departure, very much aggrieved due to his separation here. And actually, Uddhava is coming from Prabhashetra. Vidura also came visiting holy places from Prabhashetra. He came to Vrindavan. And Uddhava was staying there for few days. And that time when Vidura came and this conversation is happening. I am now mad. Now Uddhava is speaking. Uddhava is saying, I am now mad for the pleasure of seeing the Lord. Uddhava, it is said, Prahlad Maharaj, he says, um, when Nrsimhadev appeared to Prahlad Maharaj says, my Lord, those foolish rascals who says God does not have a form, let them speak like that. Let them speak that the Lord is impersonalist. The the pleasure, the joy I feel by your presence in front of me cannot be described. So this is Prahlad Maharaj telling to Lord Nrsimhadev how he feels when the Lord is in front of him. So it is said that when we meet the great devotees of the Lord, we feel joy in our heart. What to speak about when we meet the Lord himself? Um, so because Uddhava had that experience of personal association. Yesterday, one devotee was mentioning in Bhagavatam class that that this devotee has served a pure devotee, and he was mentioning when he was serving prasad to this disciple of Srila Prabhupada, and he was feeling so much peace and so much divinity, and because of the presence of a pure devotee. And he was telling that these devotees have lot of um, perfect peace in them, and that's why the whole environment around them is surcharged. So this is the experience of being around a pure devotee. And Prahlad Maharaj is sharing his experience. He said, what I experienced in your presence, O Lord Nrsimhadev, cannot be described in words. And those foolish rascals who say God does not have a form, let them think like that. I just want to serve your lotus feet. Why? Because he has experienced it. So here Uddhava is telling that I am now mad for the pleasure of seeing the Lord. Uddhava is telling to Vidura. He says, since the Lord has disappeared, now I'm mad because there is such joy or satisfaction and such a higher taste in being with the Lord. That's why even in Vrindavan, all the Vrajvasis, they're hankering to be with the Lord. And when the Lord comes in front of anybody, it's like a festival, um, to the eyes and to the, like, how the Lord smells, and the sweet voice of the Lord, the beautiful form of the Lord. Everything about the Lord is very divine. So I am now mad for the pleasure of seeing the Lord. And to mitigate this, I am now proceeding to Badrikasha for association, as I have been instructed by him. So there Prabhupada mentions that service mitigates separation. Service mitigates separation. Uddhava was um, um, in pain because of separation from Lord Krishna. But because Uddhava has some service to Krishna, which is to go to Badrik Ashram and give his association, that was relieving the distress of Uddhava because of his absorption in service. Um, um, in Badrik Ashram, Uddhava says the Narayan Rishi and the sages, they have been undergoing various penances for the welfare of all. Now, please give me your permission so I can depart. So this is all. Now we are almost at the end of the chapter and the end of the meeting of Uddhava and Vidura. Um, Vidura was feeling very much aggrieved, because Uddhava loves Sri Krishna. Vidura is also feeling very much aggrieved, uh, simultaneously, because of separation from Krishna. And Vidura was becoming pacified because of Uddhava association and because of discussion about Krishna that Uddhava spoke. So this is another thing that mitigates grief, and that is hearing about Krishna. One is service to Krishna and one is hearing about Krishna. In one of the purports, Srila Prabhupada mentions that those devotees who are feeling separation uh, from Krishna, Prabhupada says, can take shelter of hearing about Krishna directly from books written by Rup and Raghunath Goswami, Rup and Raghunath Das Goswami, and other Vaishnava Goswamis. So Prabhupada says this is Vidura was feeling separation, but when he heard about Krishna Vrindavan pastime and Krishna Dwarka pastime from Uddhava, Vidura felt relieved. And Uddhava was feeling separation from Krishna, and he felt relieved in the hope that Krishna has given me service. And because Krishna has given me service, through service I'm connected to Krishna. This was actually the mood of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada also, when he came to the West, um, one reporter asked Prabhupada, so um, um, when was the last time you met your Guru Maharaj? And Prabhupada says, uh, my Guru Maharaj is always there with me. There was no last time when I met my Guru Maharaj. My Guru Maharaj never left me, and I never left my Guru Maharaj. There is not even a moment when I'm not with my Guru Maharaj or he's not with me. That was the mood of Srila Prabhupada was carrying. That was the consciousness of Srila Prabhupada. How? And Prabhupada says, because I'm always trying to serve my Guru Maharaj. Prabhupada, because he's following the instruction of his Guru Maharaj, through the instruction Srila Prabhupada is feeling the association of his Guru Maharaj. And we see that mood here, that Uddhava is taking shelter of the service of the instruction given by Krishna. And by trying to do what Krishna wanted Uddhava to do, Uddhava is getting relieved and feeling Krishna's presence in that. And Vidura is feeling relieved by hearing about Krishna from Uddhava. This is very beautiful. And then it is said that while Uddhava is described here as Mahabhagavat, obviously. so dear to Krishna. While Mahabhagavad Uddhava was going away, then Vidura paused him and stopped him for a moment. And Vidura asked him with affection and confidence. Vidura said, because the servant of Vishnu wander in the interest of serving others. So you kindly describe the self-knowledge with which you have been enlightened by the Lord. Very nice. So it is said that who is there is a verse na, in Gopi Geet. Um, श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना, that the gopi says that those are burida who travel around the world and who speak about the glories of Krishna or the pastimes of Krishna. Those saints are burida. They are most munificent workers, most most like kind people, because they are giving everybody the association of Krishna. So Vidura is telling, Vidura is very intelligent. Uddhava is about to leave. Uddhava is Mahabharat. Uddhava had deep love for Krishna. Vidura doesn't want Uddhava to go away. And Vidura is very eager to hear about Krishna. And Uddhava is going away. And Uddhava says, Krishna spoke now. Imagine if you meet somebody who has heard Bhagavatam from Krishna, so you will be very eager to say, what did Krishna say? So Uddhava himself said that Krishna spoke to me about Bhagavatam, and now I have to go. And Vidura stopped Uddhava and he said, my dear Uddhava, he said with affection. Why? Because one reason Vidura is very affectionate to Uddhava is also because of age. Because Uddhava is Krishna's age, and Vidura is like the age of his father. So but Vidura is not judging Uddhava based on his age, because he knows that Uddhava is very dear to Krishna. So Vidura is elderly, so he's telling with affection, confidence that the devotees of Lord Vishnu, they speak about Hari Katha to whoever wants to hear, and that's why they are very kind people. They wander in the interest of serving others. Why do great souls wander, go here and there? Because they want to serve, and they serve by speaking Hari Katha. So because you are a servant of Vishnu, you wander in the interest of serving others. Can you please speak to me what Bhagavatam that Krishna spoke to you? Then it is said that Uddhava was very, very competent because he's a Mahabhagavat. But he felt Maitreya was elderly. Um, um, and Vidura was also elderly. Vidura is like a father's age. And Prabhupada says that Uddhava was not ready to accept the elder and respectable Vidura as his disciple, especially when the elderly Maitreya was nearby. And he was careful about the offense of Maryada Vyatikrama, or impertinently surpassing a greater personality. So Uddhava is a devotee. Uddhava is fully competent to describe Bhagavatam. And Uddhava later on does describe Bhagavatam to the queens of Dwarka later on. Um, so Uddhava is fully competent. But Uddhava felt Vidura is very elderly and very qualified. I cannot take the position of a guru in front of Vidura. And Maitreya is alive. And Maitreya is also very, very elderly. So I should let him speak to Vidura. That is a proper etiquette. So Prabhupada said we should be careful about the offense of Maryada Vyatikrama, or surpassing a greater personality. So it is said that Vaishnava etiquette is if there are few people and one of them is like a senior Vaishnava, then that senior Vaishnava should be allowed to speak. And if anybody in the assembly ask a question, then the senior Vaishnava should be allowed to answer. So this is just Maryada or Vaishnava etiquette. And Uddhava was afraid of breaking that etiquette. So he said, no, so he wanted. And moreover, Uddhava also had a specific service from Krishna to go to Badrikashram. So, Uddhava, when Vidura said the great saints, they wander for the service of others, can you please speak Bhagavatam? Then Uddhava says there is Maitreya nearby, he's a great sage. He was also directly instructed by the Lord. So Uddhava says when Krishna spoke Bhagavatam, me and Maitreya both were there. He was directly heard Bhagavatam from the Lord. So you may please go and take lessons from him. So in this way, Uddhava and Vidura spent the whole night discussing about Krishna. And the morning came. They were on the bank of Yamuna. Then Uddhava took his bath in the Yamuna and then he departed towards Badarikashram. And it is described that while Vidura and Uddhava were having this conversation about Krishna, about Bhagavatam, about Maitreya, about last meeting with Krishna, and about everything else, that whole night spent like in a moment. It was so short. Then Parikshit Maharaj asks one question. I mean, these are multiple layers of conversation, where there is a conversation between Sukadev and Sukadev Goswami and Maharaj Parikshit. Then what they discussed is further being discussed by Sutta Goswami and sages of Naimisharanya. Sutta Goswami, sages of Naimisharanya. Then second layer is Maharaj Parikshit and Sukadev Goswami. And the third layer is Vidura and Uddhava. So Maharaj Parikshit asked this question. He says, um, why did Uddhava remain alone on this planet after the disappearance of the Lord and his associates? So this reminds me of Hanuman. So Krishna left and Krishna took all the Yadus with him. Eternal associate also Krishna arranged that they leave. The demigods also they left. But Krishna wanted Uddhava to stay back. And he alone stayed back. All the other associates of Krishna they left. Even the Pandavas they left. Kunti left. Bhishma they left. Everybody left. And only one associate remained is Uddhava. So Maharaj Parikshit asked that why Uddhava had to stay back when the whole entourage has disappeared. And this is just like Lord Ram took the entire Ayodhya, Lord Ram took to Vaikuntha and everybody. And Lord Ram said, Hanuman, Hanuman, you stay back. And Hanuman was very much aggrieved to hear, I have to live in separation. So then Sukadev Goswami answered. Sukadev Goswami said that Lord Krishna was thinking to himself. This is so wonderful. Sukadev is the only one who can be entrusted with knowledge about me. Why Uddhava had to remain back? Because Krishna had that much confidence in Uddhava. And Krishna thought that Uddhava is the only one who can be entrusted with knowledge about me. Same thing happened with Hanuman also. Because Hanuman is my dear most servant. Today morning in Bhagavatam class, I was listening. One devotee was giving Bhagavatam class here. And he was sharing a small story. He said that Narad Muni went to Lord Ram. And he asked, Narad Muni said, I want to meet all the devotees of Lord Ram. And I also want to see if Lord Ram considered me and Hanuman and others as his devotee. So Narad Muni went to Lord Ram and Narad Muni told Lord Ram that, my Lord, can you please give me the list of the names of all the devotees who remember you? And then Narad Muni, and then Lord Ram gave a list of names. And he read all the names, Narad Muni, and he saw his name was there because he also always remembers Lord Ram. And he went through the whole list, but Hanuman name was not there. So Narad Muni was bewildered. Narad Muni went to Hanuman and he told Hanuman that I asked Lord Ram to give the names of all the devotees who always remember him. And my name is there. All the devotees' name is there, but your name is not there. Then Hanuman said, yeah, that is true. I am so busy serving Lord Ram that I am not able to remember him because I am so busy serving him. Then, then Narad Muni went to Lord Ram and he wanted further clarification that why Hanuman name is not there among the devotees who always remember Lord Ram. Then Lord Ram said, yeah, his name is not there in one who always remember me, but I have another list of the group of the names of devotees whom I always remember. And then Lord Ram gave him another list of devotees, and in that list, Hanuman name was there. So Hanuman is that kind of devotee that the Lord himself thinks about his devotee all the time. So Parikshit Maharaj asked Sukadev Goswami that why only Uddhava had to stay back and all the associate. And Sukadev Goswami answers that actually while Krishna was disappearing, Krishna was thinking to himself that Uddhava is the only one who can be entrusted with knowledge about me, who can spread the knowledge about me. That's what Hanuman is also doing now actually. Uddhava is all only one. And then Krishna is thinking that Uddhava is not inferior to me in any way. This is so amazing. Krishna is thinking Uddhava is not inferior to me in any way because he is never affected by Maya. Uddhava is always free and he's like, just like I am transcendental, so is Uddhava. So Lord Krishna is thinking Uddhava is not inferior to me in any way. Therefore, he may remain here to disseminate or to give specific knowledge about me. And that's why Krishna chose only Uddhava, that you go and you give my association to the sages of Badarikashram in my absence. You give my association in my absence to them through you because you are not different from me. And Krishna, there is nobody like Uddhava. But this question, very nice question by Parikshit Maharaj and Sukadev Goswami answers in this way. And finally, Uddhava followed the instructions of the Lord and Uddhava reached Badrika Ashram. And Uddhava worshipped the Lord in trance by remembering and by speaking. That's how Uddhava, for the rest of the remaining life, Uddhava worshipped the Lord in trance. And the last couple of verses um, before uh, before this is very nice actually. Before Krishna disappeared, Krishna also told Vidura and Maitreya. Krishna said that whatever Bhagavatam I have spoken to both of you, and then Krishna looked at Maitreya Rishi and Krishna said, give this knowledge to Vidura. And Krishna specifically take the name Vidura. And Krishna said, give this knowledge of Bhagavatam to Vidura. And later on we see when in the next chapter, next week we will see Vidura also, Maitra Muni, there is a meeting with Maitra Muni and Vidura. Then Maitra Muni also tells Vidura that the Lord has left confidential knowledge with me to share with you. And Uddhava said, actually, Krishna wanted you to hear this message, but through Maitra Muni. So you should go and hear from him. And Vidura became overwhelmed with ecstasy of love. And Vidura began to cry loudly when he remembered, when he heard that Lord Krishna remembered him just before his disappearance. Lord Krishna, how many devotees Lord Krishna has? There are millions of Yadus. And then there are Krishna's own queen. There are the whole Pandava dynasty. There are so many devotees of Lord Krishna. But Lord Krishna he told Maitra Muni, spoke this science of transcendental knowledge to Vidura. So when Vidura heard that Lord took my name and remembered me before departure, Vidura began to cry loudly, overwhelmed by the ecstasy of love. And now after Uddhava went to Badrikashram, then Vidura started going and he reached the bank of Ganges, where Maitreya Muni was situated. So that's the end of the fourth chapter. And the next week we will see the meeting of Vidura and Maitreya and conversation. So whatever Bhagavatam was spoken by Krishna to Uddhav and Maitreya Muni, we will hear the whole science and teachings of Bhagavatam by Krishna through the words of Maitreya Muni. Okay, so are there any discussions at this point? Anyone has any questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam, all Krishna Prabhupada and Gurudev.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Hare Krishna.
No questions, Prabhuji, but this is very, very like sweet and heartwarming. How, I mean, every time when we hear about this, how Lord Krishna remembered Vidraji at the time of passing away, it is so special. And like you're saying, crying, I mean, really imagine how he would be crying, like how loudly, and what would be the condition of his heart. Krishna remembered me. Being of all the, humbled. So nice, very nice. Thank you for sharing all this nectar, Prabhuji, so nicely. Very grateful.
Yeah. Just by hearing Bhagavatam, we hope to direction for Krishna. Thank you for sharing. It's very heart touching. Thank you. So we will end here. Thank you for your wonderful Sangha. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Ananta Koti Vaishnavendra ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna
Dandavat
Prabhuji,
Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Radha
Hare
Bhavani.
Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna
Dandavat
Prabhuji,
Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Girish Prabhu. Hare Krishna.